Hello, thanks for joining me in this yoga class. We're going to start in a lying supine position. So make your way slowly down onto your mat, onto your backs. And then with your knees bent, bend your shoulders on the floor, rest your hands on your tummy. And before we start, just take a couple of belly breaths. So allow the breath to come into the body and push down into your diaphragm. Your diaphragm pushes into your tummy lifts. Now just make that first connection with your breath here in this position. So with any of these video sessions, just work within the capabilities of your body. Don't push yourself too much. It's really an exploration of range of movement, and it's an exploration of how your body is today. We don't really want to put ourselves in any form of pain or discomfort. We just want to move that body, open our joints, maintain our breath. And feel the pressure of your bottom and your back and your arms and your feet on the floor. Feel that connection with the mat beneath you. Bring your mind into the practice, just letting go of any thoughts, any narrative that's going on in your head. Take your hands away, take your arms out a little bit wider of the mat and pinch your feet out to the edges of the mat and gently let your legs float from one side to the other, just allowing the hips to open up a little bit. Really nice movement this. And you can actually move the head in the opposite direction to your knees and get a little bit of a spinal twist going on. You can engage breath here, breath to movement. You can breathe out as you lower the knees down, breathe out, breathe in as you bring the back to center again. It's a great way of dialing your mind into the practice, into the breath, into the movement, and it's a really nice movement for your spine, particularly first thing in the morning. Okay, and then come to our first position. It's going to be bridge with arms. So bring your heels closer to your bottom. Knees are parallel hip width apart. Good pressure of your feet on the floor. Your tummy button down into your spine to ground your lumbar spine on the floor. Arms down the side of the body. There's no pressure into the arms here as you lift the pelvis up into bridge. And not going too high here, just enough to get that lift, get that engagement of your quads, of your lower back, of your glutes. And then gently with your arms straight, float them up. And then behind you, let them come all the way down to rest on the floor. And again, not too high with the bridge here, just making sure your neck's comfortable, lifting and lowering your head a bit. The weight comes into the shoulders now, releasing the arms. And just stay here for a few breaths. Breathe into your tummy still. Feel that really nice posture. A little bit of effort, a little bit of activity, lots of grounding going on through the body. Nice soft breath. And you already feel the joints start to open up, particularly around your back. Really encouraging that curvature of your spine. Right, breath in. Put your tummy button in as you breathe out. Draw your arms down and slowly lower to the floor. When your pelvis lands on the floor, draw your knees up into your chest. Reach up with your hands, grab your knees, squeeze and release your knees a couple of times. Just to massage through the lower back. Drop the right foot to the floor, extend the left leg. Gently pull that left leg into a straightish position. Put the toes into the shin. And a few gliding movements here. Just bring the leg forwards and backwards. Just loosen off the stickiness in the back of the leg. And then drop that foot. Send that foot to the floor. We're going with the other leg. So not really forcing it, just getting the leg moving a little bit in extension. Just feeling your way into tension. Really nice way to soften through muscles. Okay, from here we're going to roll onto one side. I'm going to roll onto my right side. I've got my forearm down, my elbows under my shoulder, forearms grounded, fingertips are quite wide. Stack my knees are bent. And then the top hand, the left hand in this case, is on my hip. I'm going to start a couple of clams here just to get my abductor muscles working. Okay, you can stay with these clams here, just getting the hip open and moving. We can go a little bit deeper here. You can Push into the mat with your forearms, lift your other hip off the floor and then climb and then come back down. And you can do these a couple of times as well. Or you can go a little bit further with the next one. As you lift the arm up, stretch up, come down. The arm up. And wherever you are, for the very last climb, we'll hold it. Reach up with that hand if you're going for the go large on this posture. Come all the way back down. Okay? And push up onto your bottom, straighten your legs in front of you. And a little bit of a sit bone shuffle. So swing the arms, walking forward on your sit bone, not too far, not to the other side of the room. You're not to get on the front of the pelvis. And straighten the legs, sit and reach. So it's not a forward bend, it's reaching the arms forwards, really stretching forwards, and then palms up and draw the elbows back, chest forwards. Reach the arms out to the side and forwards, reach with the arms, the shoulders, and then palms up, draw the shoulders, the elbows back. Reach forwards, keep the legs straight, palms up, palm back, and take your hands to the floor. And push into the floor with straight arms, chest lifts, shoulders back, lift your head up, a little bit of a back bend here, with your legs straight. And release. Lean down on the other side. Come to the right side, do those clams again. So again, forearms on the floor, fingers are quite wide, good grounded, elbow under shoulder, knees are bent, ankles are bent, top hand on the hip. You can do clams here, just get the abductors working, carry on with these if this is enough for you. Or you can a little bit more engagement here, using your core muscles here. And then you can always float an arm out as you do this to get your trapezius engaged. And then lift up and hold here, static now, reaching the arm up, just finding that spot where you feel the most effort, engagement, stretch, and come back down. Okay, taking your hands to the mat, swing round onto your knees, a seamless motion as it is, and then a few cat-cows here. So cat-cows, a movement of the spine. If you've not done any of my classes before, one of my most favourite consistent postures movements, because it's so good for your spine. And you can use the breath here. You can breathe into your tummy descends to the floor, lift your head, tail your tailbone backwards. You breathe out, round your back, drop your head, pull your belly button in. So we've pretty much covered most of the joints and the muscle groups to warm the body up, to prepare the body for bigger movements. Maybe we need to work with the neck, and maybe we need to work with a little bit of an extension through the back. So we're going to come to downward dog now. So take your hands forward, quite wide with the fingers, tuck the toes in, knees hip width apart. Sit back a little bit towards your heels, push into your arms, your hands, engage your shoulders and your arms. As you drive into your toes, lift your hips high and then send your heels down, drop your head between your shoulders. Look back at your ankles and pedal through the legs here. Just feel that nice stretch of your lower legs. Okay, the first downward dog might look like a downward croquet hoop. So what we try to do is take our sit bones backwards, push down into our heels, lengthen through the upper body. I mean, from the fingertips to the tailbone, we try to make that part of the body flat, not rounded. So think about your chest down to the floor. Come up onto your toes, bend your knees a little bit just to stretch out through your toe knuckles. And then send your heels down. Stay here, downward dog. Now turn your head from side to side. Just allow the neck to rotate. Just go to the points, the ranges of movement you've got in your body, in your neck. And then come to a still position, lift your head up, look forwards, and then tuck a chin and look backwards. Just again, go for those ranges of movement in your neck, whilst you're gently stretching your posterior chain out in downward dog. Okay, and then lift your head up, look up just slightly, bend your knees, and walk on your toes forwards to the top of your mat. Come to the top of your mat to a gently forward bend. Release your arms, grab hold of your elbows, opposite hands, and release your shoulders here to allow that passive gravity assisted stretch of your shoulders. And let your head hang so your neck is soft. Bending the knees, just leaning forwards here. Then dropping the hands. Bring your tummy button in to support your spine as you come to a standing position, top of your mat. Roll the shoulders back, allow circulation to normalise itself. Draw the arms up nice and high and wide. Big breath in here. On a breath out, we'll take a side bend to the left. So take the left hand down to the side of the body as the right hand comes over the top. Keeping your feet grounded so the side bend comes through the spine itself. And then breath in, and then side bend to the right. Or to the other side, whatever the other side is. Feet grounded, pelvis is nice and stable, side bend comes through the spine. Okay, big breath in now. We're going to come to some sun salutations. Little breath out, bend your knees, and come all the way down to a bendy forward bend, hands come down to the ground. Walk the feet to the back of the mat, and then with a breath in, bring your shoulders forwards into a high press up plank position. You can drop onto your knees. This is too much for you. But take a breath here in plank. And when you're ready to breathe out, drop to your knees, touch the feet on the floor, chin and chest to the floor, elbows tuck in. Ready for a breath in, peel the chest away from that, a little bit of pressure into the mat with hands, drawing the shoulders back in, looking towards the ground. And breathe out to the floor. Breathe in, elbows tuck in and push up onto your knees. Take your hips back a little bit, tuck your toes in. Breathe out, lift your bum up in the air as you come into your downward dog. Send the chest towards the floor, send the heels down towards the floor. Taking a couple of breaths here, just feeling that sensation of tension. And again, thinking about alignment here, you can't see yourself side on, but try to be an inverted V, try not to be a inverted, or not an inverted, but try not to be a croquet hoop. But thinking about lengthening the distance between the fingertips and the bottom, so stretching by pulling the sit bones backwards, pushing the heels into the floor. Lift your head up, bend your knees, and on your toes, walk slowly to the top of the mat, to a bendy forward bend. Take your hands behind you like aeroplane wings and reach your arms up. Okay, pull your tummy button in here. Trapezius isn't engaged, it's engaged. And then bend the knees, drawing the arms down to the floor as you slowly roll up, lifting the arms up into tall mountain. And then palms come down onto your chest, onto your heart. Lift up onto your toes, find some balance here in your feet. Just feel how it feels for you. Breathe in softly. Drop the heels down, sweep the hands out to the side and up. Big breath in. Straight leg forward bend, or you can bend your knees if your back's quite sensitive. But if you are straight legs, lean forwards with your chest, nice and flat through the back here. Straight through the legs. Keep the movement going as the pelvis rotates forwards. Find some tension in the back of your legs. Take your hands to the floor or around the back of your legs. Lean towards the front of your feet. Would you feel that tension in the back of the legs? Listen the sit bones up. Breathe in softly here. Releasing your kneecaps and feeling that stretch. Staying here a couple of breaths, just encouraging that stretch without forcing the chest down. It's more about gravity helping you, and you rotate your pelvis forwards to draw your head, your chest to the floor. Bend in the knees, hands to the floor. Step the right foot all the way to the back of the mat, onto the front of the foot, and bring the left knee on top of the left ankle. Lean into your right hand, turn the shoulders to the left, and with a breath, lift the arm up and a big breath in here. Reaching up, reaching back, keeping your left knee pointing over your left toes. Taking a couple of breaths here in this twisting lunge. Opening through the front of the body and feeling that lively twist. Look down at the floor, take that left hand to the floor. Drop the right knee to the floor. Hands onto your left knee. Push up and backwards. Pull your tummy button in. Draw the arms out to the side and up. Present lunge. And then lean into the lunge. Feeling that stretch for your hip flexor. A couple of breaths here. Just enjoying the body opening up. Not really forcing it too much, but enough to get that really nice stretch. Breath in, float the hands down to the floor. Both hands either side of your left foot. Lift the right knee off the floor and step back into a downward dog. And then a slow breath into plank. Breath your movement. Breath out to your knees. And to the floor. Breath into cobra, back bend. Shoulders back, chest lifts, looking down at the floor. Breath out to the floor. Again, I might be moving too quickly for you, too slowly for you, but work with your breath, your movement. Tuck your toes in. Push up onto your knees, breath in, and breath out back towards your heels. Head comes down, almost in line with the arms now. And then slowly breathing out, driving your feet into the floor as you straighten your lower body. And you find yourself in downward dog. Look up between your hands, pause the breath for a moment as you walk on your toes to the top of the mat. And then ready for a slow breath in, draw the arms out nice and wide, rising all the way up to tall mountain. Breath out, hands down the side of the body. Breath in, lift up again, we go again. Again, bent knee or straight leg forward bend on the breath out. Coming down nice and gently. hands towards the floor or around the backs of your legs. Take a couple of breaths here in forward bend, easing into this posture, not forcing it, but just gently stretching your legs, the backs of the legs. Pushing the backs of the knees backwards, bringing the head and chest towards the floor. Just mindful of your lower back though. If it starts to pull, tug, or is uncomfortable, you can bend your knees. Hands to the floor, and then stepping the left foot all the way to the back of the mat, onto the front of the foot. Bring that right knee on top of the right ankle to get that nice stretch of your left hip flexor. Then leaning into your left hand to take the right arm up and backwards for this big, nice chest opening lunge twist, making sure your right knee is still pointing forwards over your toes, making sure your abductors aren't pulling it out to the side, down at the floor. Bring that right hand to the floor and then slowly lower your left knee to the floor. Steady yourself on your right knee, push up and push backwards here. Pull your tummy button in and then draw the arms backwards and out to the side and up. Looking forwards or looking up. And on the breath out, lean into this lunge to find that really nice hip flexor stretch in the present moment. Keeping your core pulled in to support your lung spine in this posture. I keep looking at the camera and I keep losing my balance. Okay, it just reinforces the thing of focus. Breath in here, and then as you breathe out, float your hands down either side of your right foot. Tuck in your left toes in, lift your left knee off the floor, step back again, downward dog. And then a breath into plank. Okay, and breath out to the floor. Now you can go half plank here, elbows tuck in, lower down halfway to build strength in your shoulders every time you come down through this flow. And then knees, chest, chin to the floor. Breath in, cobra. Draw the shoulders back, maybe lifting the front of the pelvis off the floor, looking down at the floor. Breath out to the floor. Already now the body starts to warm up, loosen up, push up onto your knees. Back into a charge to stretch out through the spine, decompress your spine, breath into the tummy. So we're going to step up the movements now. We'll come into some lunges. Okay, and then look up between the hands, come up onto your knees, step your left foot forwards between the hands, tucking your right toes in, lift your right knee off the floor. Okay, now try pushing down into that left foot. Trying to maintain your balance as you come upright into a high lunge position. Take your time here. Okay, we're looking to make sure our front knee points directly forwards across the toes and lifting that back knee up, pushing into the heel. So we get a really good stretch for the hip flexor. The body, the axial body, this bit here, tailbone to top of the head, is vertical. Pull your tummy button in to support your lumbar spine. Take your arms up nice and high, either side of the head. Big breath in here. Okay, and stay here. Simply stay here in high lunge, just checking those tips, those points into alignment, keeping the breath nice and steady. And a breath in now. As you breathe out, extend the arms, take the arms out nice and wide, bend the knees and drop into a lunge dip. Breath in, lift up. And then breath out. Take the arms outwards and push the palms away. Draw the arms backwards as again you lean into this lunge. Really super powerful, really stretching, working, building heat up in the body. Then lift the hands up, breath out, float the hands down to the floor, under control. And when you arrive at the floor, you're going to step that left leg back, all the way back up into a three-legged dog. So continue the movement, lift the left leg nice and high. Big breath in here. As you breathe out, bring the left knee across the body to the right elbow and hover. So a little bit of a squeeze in. Get as close as you can. Using your core, breathing nice and softly. And breath in, lift up, three-legged dog. Breath out, foot to the floor. Inhale through to plank. Hold plank, breathe. It's about building heat in the body, building strength in the joints and the muscles. Keep your core engaged. Press into the floor with your fingertips. Breath in, exhale. Knees, chest, chin for this one. We'll take a locust on the inhale. So take the hands out the side of the body. and breath into locust. And again, hold and breathe here. Try not to strain the neck. Look down at the floor, using your glutes and your lower back muscles to hold this posture. Keeping the breath steady. Release to the floor, hands on the side of your ribcage, elbows tuck in. Push up and back into child. Just to stretch out through your spine. And then a slow breath into balancing cat. So we're going to slowly breathe in, come up. And then we're coming to tabletop, float the right hand up to the side of the head as the left leg lifts up. Hip high, point the toes, point the fingers. Stay in here. Breath in, exhale to tabletop. We continue all the way back to child. Stretching out through the back. Inhale to balance the cat on the other side. Come up into tabletop. Floating the left arm and the right leg up. Level with your body. Looking down at the floor. Holding, breathing. Feeling that grounding. Keeping the breath nice and steady. And focusing on your breath. Just your breath. All the effort, the fatigue is in the peripheral of your senses. Breath in, exhale back to tabletop, take the hips back all the way, and then come up, tabletop, tuck the toes in, go backwards towards your heels, head comes in line with the arms if you can make it, drive down through the toes as you straighten out through the lower back downward dog. Make it easy for ourselves. So drop down onto your left knee, step your right foot between the hands, and then tucking the left toes in, lift the left knee off of the floor, then come into that high lunge on this side. So drive down through your right foot, take your time here to bring the body weight across both feet. So you bring your axial body up, lifting up that back knee, and your right knee points over your right toes. Draw your arms up. Really high here, pulling your core in. Taking a couple of moments here just to feel that even transfer of pressure grounded through both feet. Breath in here, and on the breath out, a lunge dip, bending through the knees as you float the arms down, stretching through that hip flexor, keeping the body upright. Breath in, lift up. Find that position where you can feel that stability, that grounding. And then extend the arms out nice and wide, shoulder height, palms face away. But draw the arms backwards, you feel the shoulder blades come towards each other. That stretch through the front of the body. Really building heat up in the body now. In these static postures, keeping the breath nice and steady again, focusing entirely on your breath. Take breath in, lift up. Breath out, float the hands down. Nice and slow with control. It's all part of the posture of the movement. Hands ground to the floor. Good ground on hands with the floor. And step that right leg all the way back up. Three-legged dog. Go for height here. Pushing down into your left heel as you reach up with your right toes. Breath in. Exhale. Bringing that knee across the body to your left elbow and hover. Squeeze in with your core muscles. And breathe. Breathe softly. And breath in, lift out, three-legged dog. Breath out to the floor. Inhale through to plank. Okay, this time we take side plank. So you can drop your left knee to the floor and take side plank. Or you can come into plank, roll to the outside edge of your left foot, stack your feet, or put one foot in front of the other, lean into your left hand, and draw your right arm up. And stay here. Breathe. Kneel in plank or side plank. Feel that grounded. Keep the breath steady. Engaging your core. Oblique muscles really working hard. Looking down at the floor. Bring that right hand to the floor. Come back to plank. And then roll to the outside edge of your right foot or drop your right knee. Pressure down into your right hand, draw your left arm up. And feel that engagement again, your core muscles, keeping the breath steady. Down at the floor, drop the hand, back to plank, onto your knees. Take your knees out to the edges of the mat. Sit back towards your heels for extended child just for a moment. So stretching out through the back here, forehead comes to the floor, inching the fingertips to the top of the mat. Belly breath here. And as you breathe out, come all the way back up. Bring the hands backwards a little bit. With the breath in, turn to the left. Take the left hand out to the side. When you're ready to breathe out, bring that left arm under the right armpit and through. Get your left shoulder on the floor, turn the head to the side, rest the side of the head on the floor. Breath in here, turn the head and look up as you press into the floor with the right hand. Find that twist through your spine. And take a couple of breaths here. With your tummy button in, press into the floor with your right hand to lift the shoulders slightly. And then a big breath in as you draw that hand out and up. And breath out to the floor. Weight goes down into your left hand. Floating your right hand out to the side of the breath in. On the breath out, sliding it through. Reaching as far across as you can to get your shoulder grounded, rest the side of the head on the floor. And a couple of breaths, you press into the floor with your left hand, turning your head and looking up. Next breath in, press into the hand, the left hand to create space to bring your right arm out to the side and up. And breath out to the floor. Bring your knees hip width apart, tuck your toes in, send the hips backwards, walk the hands forward, bring your head in line with the arms. Press into the mat with your feet as you extend the back of the lower body into downward dog. With a breath in, lift your left leg up nice and high. With a breath out, bring your left knee towards the back of your left elbow. And then turn your hip to see if with your ankle flex, we're going to lower the outside edge of our left foot to the floor and then the left knee to the floor. Then slowly lower the right knee to the floor. It comes to pigeon. Now go very carefully with this. If there's any time discomfort in your knee, come back out of it. But if you're in this position with your knee and your left lower leg grounded, ankle flex, toes point forwards, inching your right knee backwards. Walk your hands backwards and come up onto your fingertips if that's okay for you. Draw your tummy button in, draw your shoulders back, lift your head up just slightly, a little bit of a back bend here. Couple of breaths here. So we're doing a couple of breaths in these postures. We're not going to go full hatha mode, and then we're going to walk the hands forwards, coming to a lower pigeon or swan. And just easing into this gently again. We're not going to stay here too long. We'll take a couple of breaths of each posture. It's almost like a whistle-stop tour of the postures, but enough to get the body opening, moving, stretching, and keep your mind active in the process. Actively engaged with your body, your breath. Okay, walk the hands backwards. I know most of us would like to spend a good minute or so in pigeon, but that's not what this session's about. Okay, from here, what we're going to do is tuck our back toes in to inch that knee forwards a little bit. You're going to take a left arm out to the side, lean onto that left arm, onto the left glute, sweep the right leg forwards, come up into heron. As you straighten that leg out in front of you, it could be bent, but grab hold of that leg wherever the tension is and see if you can find a stretch. A couple of gliding stretches here in heron, so drawing that leg up and pull it up. Soften your shoulders, push the back of the knee away, pull the toes into the shin. Feel that tension. Couple of breaths in this posture. Keeping hold of your right leg with your right hand. Come side on so you can see me here. Okay? And then we take the left hand away and we extend the arm out, shoulder height, nice and straight. Twist to the left. Turn and follow with your eyes that left hand. And then open the hip by taking the right leg out to the side. Keep the leg as straight as you can, pulling the toes in. Standing, twisting, and opening the hip. Twisting heron. And then release a little bit, lower that right foot leg to the floor. So hopefully it comes somewhere near the sole of your left foot. Turn and face that straight leg. Toes are still pulling back. Reach up with the hands, breath in. As you breathe out, reach forwards, pivoting at your pelvis. Drop your hands down on that straight leg. Bend knee forward, bend. Making sure you release the left hip, the left knee, and then draw your chin, chest forwards to find tension again in the back of your right leg. Couple of breaths here, and then slowly release out of that. Counter pose wild thing. Take the left arm out to the side, plant it on the floor. Really strong in that arm as you lean into that straight arm. Lift your bum off the floor, ground your right foot, lift your right arm up, driving the pelvis forwards for wild thing, rock star. Big stretch through the body here, filling the lungs wherever there's space. And slowly come down. As you come down, taking your right hand to the mat and spin round into a tabletop position. Sitting back, tucking the toes and sitting back onto your heels, right down into your toes. You lift your knees and hips high, downward dog. And then with a breath in, lift the right leg nice and high, three-legged dog. With a breath out, bring your right knee to the back of your right elbow. As you come forwards, rotating that hip in space, so when you start to lower that whole of the lower right leg to the floor, your ankles flex, toes point forwards. Knee lands on the floor, and then the left knee lands on the floor. Just checking with your right knee as you gently inch your left knee backwards a little bit, so you get that hip rotated. Walking your hands backwards so the wrists are under the shoulders, lifting maybe up into tripods. Pull the tummy button and draw the shoulders back, looking down, looking forwards, find a very gentle back bend here in pigeon. And release. Keep your core pulled in, but walk the hands forwards for a lower version of pigeon. Maybe lower your chest down a little bit, come onto your forearms, stack your fists, stretch the forehead on the fists. But release into this posture, you soften through your right hip and anywhere in your body. Big belly breaths, a couple of breaths here in pigeon. Okay, walk the hands backwards. I know we like to stay there a bit longer. And then come up onto your wrists, your shoulders, inching that left knee, that back knee forwards. Great space, you can roll onto right glute, support with your right hand, sweep that left leg all the way around. And then with that leg in front of you, grab hold of the back of the leg and develop an extension of the hamstring here by pushing the back of the knee away and the gastroc muscle by pushing or pulling the toes into the shin. Find that tension in your body. It doesn't matter if the knee's bent, if that's straight for you, that's okay. That's good enough, okay? We're all different here. And from here, we're going to take a twisting heron. So keep hold of the left leg with the left hand. Take the right hand out to the side and twist around to the right and turn and look back at that right hand. And then gently open the hip as you draw the left leg out. So tension in your adductors and your hamstrings. Keeping your core engaged to tighten everything up. Keep your spine supported. Really feel the opening through the heart and opening through your hips. All the way back, grab hold of that leg, lower that leg down, ready for belly forward bend, so the sole of the right foot into the calf. Turn the face over that straight leg, pull the toes backwards, reach up with your hands, rotate the pelvis forwards as you keep the chin and the chest coming forwards, drop the hands down onto that straight leg. Soften through your right knee, your right hip, any muscles that contract, and then draw the chest, chin forwards to develop some tension in your hamstring. Couple of breaths here. Okay, then slowly put your tummy button as you release that stretch. Take the right hand out to the floor, and then we come to wild thing on this side. So push into your right knee as you ground your left foot and lift your left arm up, expanding through your chest here, driving the pelvis forwards. Big, big breaths into that space you create in your body. And then release, come back. Okay, we're going to work our way back onto Now fronts again, just come back into the tabletop position. Tuck your toes in, walk your hands forward, send the hips backwards, and then push into the mat with your toes and you straighten through the lower body. Downward dog. Joints a lot more softer, a lot more opened up now, so you can go deeper into these postures. Looking up between the hands, bend the knees, and slowly walk to the top of the mat to a straight leg forward bend. So let the head and the chest come down, keeping the legs straight, lifting the sit bones up, take the hands behind the calves, and lean into this. Allow gravity to draw your chest down. And then bend the knees, let the arms dangle, slowly roll to a standing position, rolling the shoulders back. Inhale the hands up, arms come down onto your chest. And then lean into your left foot, step the right foot to the back of the mat. Inhale up to high lunge. Rotate the back heel down, drop into a warrior two. Inhale, 5-point star. Pivot on your feet, your heels, turn your feet out 45 degrees. Exhale, gliding squat. Inhale, goddess. Draw the elbows back and the knees back. Breath in, 5-pointed star. Pivot on your feet for warrior two in the opposite direction. So bending through your right knee. Float the hands down. Look over the middle finger of your right hand. Dropping it in. Breath in here. On a breath out. Lift the back heel, window down to the floor. Step back into a downward dog. Breath into plank. Breath out, knees, chest, chin. And breath in, locust. Really nice vinyasa, standing and grounded vinyasa. You can use that, practice that in your practice, develop that. Innovate with it, release to the floor, push up, back into child, stretching out through your spine. Getting some space here, breathing into the tummy. And then come up. Take your knees to the edges of the mat. Roll onto your side. Knees bent, ankle bent, forearm on the floor. Clams again, so drawing up, opening, and coming down. This time drawing up, opening, and as you come down, don't come all the way down, but taking that top arm through and back, and reach back, really reach back, keeping your knees just slightly wider apart, feeling the effort here, and then breath in, lift up, and down. Spin around on your bottoms, okay? Straight leg forward bend, a little bit of the sit bone shuffle here, get the pelvis rotated forwards, pull the toes back, get a breath in, lift the hands up nice and high, and a breath out, slide on here, and a breath out. Keeping the lower back quite flat, reach up with the hands and come forwards, find some tension in the hamstrings, and drop in here. Keeping your gaze forwards, your chest forwards, your chin forwards. Doesn't matter how low you go, just feel that tension in the back of the hamstrings. If it's pulling in the lower back, that's a signal for you to back off a little bit. Find wherever your tension is, your range of movement is, and stay here. Bit of a longer hold in this seated forward bend because it's such a super posture for your back. Stretching your hamstrings, and creating space here. And slowly release out of that. We'll take a counter pose, taking the hands behind the back, behind the hips, plant the hands on the floor, nice and strong with the arms, bend the knees, and then push up into reverse table, driving your belly button up towards the ceiling, let your head come in line with the spine and stay here and breathe. Just realigning, resetting your spine. And release. Roll onto your left side, grounding your left forearm, clam on this side, right hand on the hip, roll up, open, up, and down, or up, open up, and then keeping the legs a little bit wider apart, and then drawing that hand under and through, and reaching down as far back as you can. You're working your back muscles and your core muscles. And come all the way up, back down, roll onto your back, and bring your knees into your chest. Squeeze and release your knees back sides here. Drop your feet to your head and shoulders on the floor, hands down the side of the body. Pull your belly button in, ground through your lower back, and push into the floor with your feet, drive up into bridge. Soften your arms, and just allow the body to build into this posture by using that strength in your back muscles. Keeping your knees parallel. Breathe in softly. And slowly release. Keeping your belly button pulled in, roll down through your spine, nice and slowly. And when your pelvis lands on the floor, draw your knees up, reach up, grab hold of your knees, head to knees, knees to head, squeeze and compress through your whole body. Drop the feet to the floor, hands out away from the mat. Take your feet out to the edges of the mat and gently roll your hips from side to side. And then come to a nice neutral position. Rest your left ankle on top of your right knee, thigh. Arms out nice and wide. Roll your body, your lower body down to the right. Lift your left hand up and clamp down onto your left knee. And then gently turn your head away towards your left hand. Soften through your left shoulder. And just enjoy this twist here. Soften where you can around your lower body. Any muscles that are reacting, contracting. And soften around the upper left shoulder, upper body, left shoulder. Then slowly turn your head upwards, let go of that knee. Use your core muscles, bring the legs back onto the mat. We'll go again on the other side. So right leg up on top of the left thigh and roll down to the left side. As you come down, keeping your right shoulder ground as much as you can. Lift your left hand up and pull that down on that right knee. And then turn your head away towards your right hand, soften through the right shoulder. Again, releasing any muscle that might have reacted, reflex, contractions, and breathe softly away that tension in your body. So to look up, let go of the knee, come onto your back, drop your feet to the floor, take your hands down the side of the body, pull your tummy button into your spine to flatten your lower back in the floor, and then lift your belly button up to create that lumbar arch. So these pelvic rotations now just softening through your lower back. Just allow any tightness to release your lower back, softening through the discs, the muscles. And then slide your heels to the bottom corners of the mat if that's comfortable for you, or keep your knees bent, but let the feet flop out to the side. Release your hands comfortably wherever they naturally go. And take your head off the mat slightly, tuck your chin in, rest your head down on the mat. And just stay here for the next few moments in Shavasana, corpse pose. Just checking in with your body, just feeling connected with your body. Just keep your mind here, scanning your body, just noticing prominent sensations, what they are. But most importantly, try to release any tension anywhere, any contracting muscles. And when you find stillness in Shavasana, you identify, you uncover deeper layers of tension in your body, which may be there all the time. You don't actually realize it because your head's always busy in your head. So diligently scanning any areas where you might carry tension, particularly clenching of your genitals or your bottom, and particularly your pelvic floor, and your shoulders and your jaw. Everybody's different here. It might be anywhere in your body, but search it out. It's the body's means of applying body armor when we get tense and stressed in life. And sometimes we develop a pattern, a habit, and we keep that stress in there. So Shavasana is really about release. It's the release of the tension in your body. And most importantly, it's the release of your mind from any passing thoughts that might create reactive tension in your body. So steady your mind as well as release your body by bringing your mind into a point of focus. And a really good point of focus is your breath. So as you lie here with your eyes closed, just allow the breath to happen naturally. But count your breath. An in and an exhale counts as one. So count your breath from 1 to 5, and then when you reach the number 5, start again at 1. When you lose your count, start again at 1. Don't rush the breath. Just observe the movement of breath through the body. Visualize that number in your head. And just stay here, keeping your mind grounded on the breath and away from any passing thoughts. When a thought enters your head and you are distracted, which it will happen, acknowledge that thought, being inquisitive as to why it appeared, and then wave it goodbye and let go and come back to your breath. And as you come back to the next breath out after that thought has gone, just check in with your body that that thought hasn't left any tension in your body. And stay here as long as you want. I'm going to shoot off now. Thanks for doing this session. If you liked it, please like. And hopefully enjoy your yoga. Thanks very much.